I'm very, very concerned about the rhetoric now being spoken out by Candace, Owens, Tucker Carlson, a little bit now coming, from Megyn Kelly, and frankly, some clips that I've seen of some of Charlie Kirk's words, which we've determined are not AI, because the first thing that I wanted to do was make sure that wasn't AI. But I will say that we're going to have our discerning eyes opened, because this is going to get ugly, everyone. This is going to get ugly. We have some of the top podcasters in the world fomenting, or is it fomenting, JT? Fomenting anger against those who support Israel. And they're fomenting anger against Israel. And we need to see what's going on. And I don't understand how it has all happened, but I do see a spirit of deception that has now seized the mind of Candace Owens. And I just see her anger and what she's saying. It is not biblical. And we're going to look a little bit here as well as, at what she's saying in the absence of Charlie Kirk to defend himself, that he was going to become a Catholic. And I think we're going to be able to prove that that is not what he said as of 2 months ago. So let's have a look first at David Harris Jr. And this is a wonderful man whom I met when I was at a function in the United States at one point, and I got a picture with him. And I love this man. He's a man of integrity and discernment. He's also been on our show in the past. And I appreciate what he's saying right now, because Candace Owens is his friend. And he remembers when she was actually praying to the universe before she adopted her Catholic position. But now she's saying something interesting. She's saying that Charlie Kirk was on his way to becoming Catholic. And David Harris Jr. has something to say about that.
Candace, sister, I love you and George. I prayed for you guys. I prayed for you before you got married. When I spoke at Blexit back in 2019, I think it was. Back then, you were talking to the universe. You were praying to the universe. And I remember telling you directly, I said, why don't you pray to the one that created the universe? And I was so excited when I began to see you dive into the Bible and get bold about your faith and talking about Jesus. To take in the wake of this tragedy to social media and project and tell the world that he was, after living a life devoted to Jesus and the Bible and the Christian faith, he always just talked about Christianity, and he talked about the Bible, and he talked about Jesus. But to then have you go on social media and post that you believed that he was converting to Catholicism, when he's not here to say whether he was or wasn't, but to interject that at a point when America and the world is reeling over his loss, to me, it's so off that I had to make this video. Anybody that is pointing someone that is hungry, which there are millions of people right now that are hungry for what Charlie had and what he carried, and for anybody to try to point those hungry people to something other than Jesus is not right. And it needs to be called out. Manipulation is a form of witchcraft. It's often associated with that because both involve exerting control or influence over others in ways that align with deception. Manipulation, when used to deceive or control others for selfish reasons, mirrors this religious spirit of rebellion. It's usurping God's authority. It's pointing to anything other than God himself, to Jesus himself. Manipulation, especially when it employs deceit, charm, or coercion. It's also linked to Jezebel. Jezebel in 1 Kings 21. She was all about coercion and charm to get people to follow her, not follow the king. Witchcraft is tied to idolatry, which is seeking power apart from God. Manipulation also often stems from a desire to play God, controlling outcomes, for personal gain. It also reflects a prideful, idolatrous heart. I say all this in love, hoping that this will wake you up, Candace, and also wake up anybody that is having their eyes taken off of Jesus. So for those of you out there that are hungry for the Bible and hungry for the faith that Charlie had, please don't let anyone or anything direct you anywhere other than Jesus. It's all about Jesus.
It really is, sir. Amen. It's all about Jesus, and this is the hardest part of this is, I saw Candace Owens going a little weird, a while back. I didn't understand her venomous anger nor her perspective, which is not what I would say is biblical. But she was very angry, and she gets a dog. It's like a bone. She's like a dog with a bone, and I appreciate that about her because I am the exact same way. People will often say, Laura-Lynn, you just won't let something go. You're like a dog with a bone. And so I appreciate her tenacity, her brilliance. I've enjoyed following along with her Macron hypothesis. I don't know if it's true or not true. I love it. What I don't love is that she's saying some things about Charlie Kirk now that do not actually resonate with what Charlie Kirk said. The other thing is her hatred of Israel. Like, I don't know how else to talk about this, but when you love Jesus, you've got to be careful of how you speak. And so this is a very hard thing.